The Twin Robes Immortal, Journey Between Buddha and Demon. The morning mist hung low over the heavenly mountains, swirling gently around ancient pine trees and jagged cliffs. At the gates of Shaolin Temple, a young disciple named Tuo Yun stood silently, taking in the serenity of the sacred halls. His eyes reflected both excitement and trepidation, for today marked the beginning of his journey into the world beyond the temple. The master of Shaolin, a venerable monk with flowing white hair and a beard as long as his wisdom, approached him. In his hands he held the golden light Kasaya, a robe imbued with ancient spiritual energy. "Tuo Yun," the master said, voice calm but commanding, "this robe is more than cloth. It is a vessel for your spirit. It will protect your body and illuminate your mind. When walking the path of Buddha, wear it. Let it remind you that purity of heart matters more than any power you may gain." Tuo Yun bowed deeply, receiving the robe with reverence. As he slipped the golden garment over his shoulders, a warmth spread through his body, and a soft glow radiated from the fabric, mingling with the first rays of sunlight piercing the temple courtyard. The wind caught the hem of the Kasaya, lifting it slightly, as though the robe itself were alive. For days, Tuo Yun journeyed through the surrounding valleys and villages. He encountered minor demons harassing the local villagers and drove them away with bursts of spiritual energy emanating from the Kasaya. Each act of protection brought a quiet satisfaction to his heart. He remembered his master's words. Virtue was a path, not a source of fame. Even in moments of triumph, his mind remained disciplined, aware of the greater journey ahead. One evening, he arrived at a riverbank, the silver moonlight reflecting off the water in gentle ripples. He sat quietly, listening to the murmuring current and feeling the cool breeze brush against his face. In these moments, he learned patience and observation, knowing that inner calm was as important as any physical skill. On the 10th day, he climbed a high mountain to greet the sunrise. The peaks were shrouded in drifting clouds, and the horizon glowed pink and orange as the first rays of dawn touched the land. As he reached the edge of a cliff, a sudden tear appeared in the sky, a jagged rift swirling with strange energy. A violent wind pulled him forward, and before he could react, he was sucked into the void. The warmth and light of the Kasaya dimmed as he plummeted into an unknown realm. Tuo Yun landed in the Blood Shadow Demon realm, a place unlike anything he had ever seen. The sky glowed a deep, burning red, and the ground beneath him was black and swampy, pulsating with dark energy. Thick, swirling mists carried whispers of agony and anger, the cries of countless trapped souls echoing endlessly through the oppressive air. The Kasaya's glow flickered weakly against the overwhelming darkness. As he struggled to stand, recalling his master's teachings, a towering figure emerged from the shadows, the Demon Lord. His skin was pale as bone, eyes glowing a menacing crimson, and in his hand he carried a staff covered in blood-red runes. The aura of power surrounding him twisted the very air, casting shadows that seemed to crawl toward Tuo Yun. "You will wear this robe," the Demon Lord said, presenting a black paper robe shimmering with a faint, eerie glow. "Or your soul will become a lantern for my legions. Only then may you survive among us." Tuo Yun hesitated, but he understood that brute force alone would not carry him through this realm. Carefully, he draped the paper robe over his shoulders. Instantly, his presence blended with the shadows, the glow of the Kasaya dimming, and the whispering mists brushing against him like a dark embrace. For 100 days, Tuo Yun navigated the treacherous demon realm. He moved stealthily among rows of shadow serpents, skeletal warriors carrying cursed halberds, and illusionist wraiths that mimicked his every movement. Each day was a test of both mind and spirit, requiring vigilance, patience, and unwavering focus. The shadows were alive, twisting and coiling to trap intruders, while trapped souls offered fleeting glimpses of wisdom if he knew how to listen. During his journey, Tuo Yun discovered the Soul Illuminator, an ancient artifact resting on a moss-covered altar in the depths of the demon maze. Its glow was soft cyan, pulsating with gentle light. He realized that it could illuminate even the darkest corners of the realm, but only if wielded by someone whose heart remained pure. Using the artifact, he guided lost spirits along safe paths, carefully avoiding the gaze of the demon lord. Several encounters tested him further. A colossal shadow serpent lunged from the mist, its scales absorbing light. Tuo Yun unleashed the spiritual energy of his Kasaya, clashing with the darkness in a burst of radiant sparks. He fought skeletal warriors in narrow sea. As he approached a familiar river, he noticed the water reflecting not only the sky, but subtle glimmers of magic, the residual energies from his battles and journeys. Each ripple carried whispers of lessons learned: patience, vigilance, humility, courage, and discernment. He knelt by the river, dipping his fingers into the water, feeling the flow of energy pass into him, strengthening both body and spirit. Evenings were spent in meditation atop the cliffs. The Kasaya caught every ray of setting sun, casting long shadows across the rocky slopes. Tuo Yun's mind wandered back to the blood shadow demon realm, the Soul Illuminator, the Frost Gate, the lessons hidden in each shadow. He understood that the journey was eternal. Even returning to the mortal plane did not mark the end, only a new chapter. In the weeks that followed, Tuo Yun traveled to distant valleys and mountain passes, protecting villagers from rogue spirits, minor demons, and natural calamities. Each act of compassion reinforced his inner light, harmonizing with the knowledge and cunning gained from the shadowed realm. He guided spirits still trapped between worlds, using subtle traces of Kasaya energy, careful not to disrupt the natural balance. One evening, atop a ridge overlooking the vast expanse of the mortal realm, Tuo Yun reflected on the ultimate truth he had learned. With Buddha, wear the Kasaya to shine with clarity. With demons, wear the paper robe to survive unseen. But it is the unwavering heart, disciplined, compassionate, and perceptive, that alone carries one through light and shadow alike. He stood, arms extended, Kasaya billowing in the evening breeze, eyes closed as if embracing the entire world. Golden light radiated softly, mingling with the silver moonlight, painting the peaks and valleys in a harmonious glow. Below him, the villagers slept peacefully, unaware of the countless dangers they had been shielded from. Stories of Tuo Yun's journeys spread quietly among the monks, scholars, and wandering cultivators. They whispered of the Twin Robes Immortal, a being who had walked the line between realms, mastered both concealment and brilliance, and carried the balance of light and dark in his heart. He became a living legend, a teacher without teaching, his very existence a guidepost for those seeking cultivation. Even centuries later, when disciples asked about the path of spiritual mastery, elders would whisper, "Remember Tuo Yun, who wore two robes and carried one heart. Balance is the essence of power. Light and shadow are not enemies, but partners in the harmony of the cosmos." Above the mountains, the wind continued its eternal dance, swirling mist and golden rays across the valleys. Rivers reflected the sky, forests swayed, and the world continued. Yet the tale of Tuo Yun endured, immortalized in the interplay of light and shadow, in robes of gold and paper, and in the unwavering heart of the Twin Robes Immortal. From within the portal emerged not a demon, but a figure of ambiguous form, part human, part shadow, its features shifting with every blink. It did not speak, but extended a hand, and from it flowed a river of spectral light. Memories of the blood shadow demon realm flickered across Tuo Yun's mind. Traps, battles, souls guided, lessons learned. The spectral figure was an embodiment of balance itself, a test he had not anticipated. Tuo Yun stepped forward, the golden threads of the Kasaya intertwining with the spectral light. A battle of wills ensued, not of fists or blades, but of spirit and intention. Each movement created ripples in the surrounding air. Sparks of energy flared as the Kasaya resonated with latent power. Golden light intertwined with spectral silver, painting the mountain sky with streaks of brilliance that reflected off the mist. The struggle lasted until the stars appeared above the peaks. Tuo Yun centered himself, breathing slowly, letting his heart become a mirror. Slowly he lowered his hands, allowing the spectral figure to merge with the ambient mist. A profound silence settled over the hilltop, broken only by the whisper of wind and the distant flow of a river. Tuo Yun understood. Mastery was not in domination, but in harmonizing with forces both light and dark. The next morning, Tuo Yun descended further, returning to the village paths he had once walked. Villagers noticed his presence, sensing both serenity and strength radiating from him. Children peeked from behind bamboo fences, eyes wide with wonder. Elderly monks nodded knowingly. They could sense that Tuo Yun had become more than a mere protector. He was a living parable of balance, a bridge between mortal, divine, and demonic realms.